Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for August the 5th. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy, and after that, we'll pull one card for each sign. If you know your house placements, then you can get a whole lot of information out of a quick little video like this. However, if you just know your sun sign, you can still get some pretty good info. So, overall energy card is showing up as the Empress in reverse. We like it. Well, we like it because if we see this video early enough, we can head it off at the pass. So the Empress in reverse could be something that we're doing. It could be something that somebody in our sphere of influence is doing. We'll see more about that as we get into each individual sign. Empress in reverse just means that we're really great at manifesting those things that we're focused on. But when she's in reverse, it talks about either us or someone in our sphere of influence being focused on something that is not what we want, being focused on what we're anxious about or what we're fearful of. So since we're getting this video early, what we do is we adjust what we're focusing on, and we start focusing on the positive outcomes that we would like to see rather than those things that don't make us feel so hot. Okay, so let's see how this plays out for each sign. Aries, starting with you guys. Star card showing up. That's an interesting contrast coming up with the Empress in reverse. So what's going on, Aries? Aries, I think there's somebody that you're competing with some way, and I think that this person that you're competing with, or this company maybe that you're competing with, whatever the case may be for you, I think that you're seeing that these people are kind of shooting themselves in the foot by what they're focusing on, and you're actually hopeful because by them shooting themselves in the foot, that makes your job much, much, much easier. Interesting how this can play out, huh? You know exactly what they're doing. You know they're focusing on the wrong things. But there are many times when we try to tell people and they don't want to hear it, and that may be what's going on for you. So you're hopeful that this is just going to make your job that much easier, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And I do feel like you're in some kind of competition with them. I feel like this is not focusing very well. I'm not sure why. It focuses on my fingernails that need so much help, but not on the cards. All right, let's move on. Not going to spend all night looking at that. Queen of Coins showing up in reverse, Taurus. Taurus, here's the thing. We do have somebody in our sphere of influence who is focused very much on the terrible what ifs. You know, what if this doesn't work out? What if blah, 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 blah. So they're just, you know, being very negative, and they're drawing to them negative things. Here's the thing, Taurus, with us showing up as the Queen of Coins in reverse, this is saying that we've actually tried to help this person to focus on those things that could work out and those things that could go well. And we're at a point where we're seeing it's not doing any good. The person just is not in a place that they can hear that or want to hear that maybe. And so we are really kind of done trying to help to uplift and encourage this person. We have talked until we're blue in the face, and we just are seeing that there's no point to continue on with this, at least not at this moment. So we are done with that. My rising sign is Taurus. Geminis. Six of Cups. Geminis, I think there's something that you're looking back at from your past that you remember fondly. And I think that you're considering, could I bring some of those positive memories into today? Could I fast forward them into now? And I think that as you're doing that, you're not feeling very hopeful. You're really looking at, well, I just don't know if so-and-so would want to cooperate with that. And so you're focusing on the things that could go wrong in that rather than focusing on how things might go right. And you're basically creating a self-fulfilling prophecy here unless you change your energy at some point today and you start focusing on, oh, you know, wouldn't that be great if it did go correctly? And for manifesting, one of the best little tricks that you can use when you're kind of focused in the direction you don't want to go to turn things around is to look at how you would like things to be and just ask, wouldn't that be great if that happened? Even if you don't believe it could happen, wouldn't it be great? Just kind of imagine how great that might be and just let it go. You know, don't harp on it. Don't come up with all the reasons that it can't happen. Just go with, wouldn't it be great? And then move on to whatever is the next thing you need to think about for the day. It helps. I've used it. It helps. Okay, so that's Gemini's. Next up, let's look at Cancer. All right, Cancers, you guys have the Eight of Cups showing up in reverse. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. Cancers, I think you've got something going on where you've walked away from a situation that left you feeling depleted and exhausted. And now I think you're really worried about yourself, and you're worried about this idea of, will I walk back to that situation? I think logic is telling you that it's not a good idea, but your emotions may not be lined up with your logic right now. And so I think that you're a little bit afraid that you won't follow your emotions here and that you'll end up walking back into a situation that was not really healthy. Actually, that was pretty toxic. So that's just basically what we're talking about there is you've got a fear that you've got to deal with, you know. You've got to figure out what's my plan and my backup plan to make sure that doesn't happen. Next up, we're looking at Leo. Okay, so Leos, you guys have the falling tower showing up here with the Empress in reverse as our overall energy. So this is interesting how this is coming up for you Leos. I feel like you're in a situation that you and a whole group of people actually lost something that made you feel secure and stable, that you kind of thought was going to last indefinitely, and it just suddenly and unexpectedly was no longer a part of your experience. Now, I don't think you're the only person that this impacted. I think that this happened to several people, whether it was several family members or several colleagues at work, but several of you lost this thing that made you feel secure before. Here's the thing that you're being called to be aware of today. You have people around you who are really having a hard time seeing how this could possibly turn into something that might be good, where you are actually doing what it takes to make it turn into what could possibly be good. Okay? So you're actually coming out on top of this thing where other people are still in the kind of woe is me energy. So you don't want to soak up their energy. You want to focus on what you're doing to come out on top of this, whatever this is that was removed from your experience. Don't get stuck in with them having the poor pitiful party. The poor pitiful party. All right, let's look at Virgo. Okay, Virgo, Nine of Coins showing up here. What's going on? Nine of Coins with the Empress card in reverse. Virgos, I think that you're realizing you have some toxic friends around you who are really great at manifesting things that they don't want because they focus on the negative. They focus on what they don't want, really, what they're afraid of, what makes them anxious. They focus on that rather than the goal or the target. And I think that you are walking away from those types of friends. You're figuring, you know what, I'm better off out here all by myself than I am having friends like that that are just shooting themselves in the foot left and right. All right, that was Virgo. Next up, let's look at Libra. Libras, you guys have the Sun card showing up in reverse. Libra. Libras, you guys are overthinking some things, and not only are you overthinking them, you're overthinking them with somebody else. So you're talking to somebody else who's overthinking this with you. And instead of you guys looking at how can we make this turn out the way we want to, how can we reach our target, how can we reach our goal, you're looking at all the things that could shoot you in the foot instead. Stop that. It's okay to be aware that maybe not everything's going to go totally, completely smooth. It is not okay to take your eye off the ball. If you start focusing on the obstacles, all you're going to see is the obstacles. If you're focusing on that goalpost, you're not going to notice the obstacles as much. You're just going to run right over them to get to the goalpost. So it's especially dangerous whenever you've got not just you focusing on the obstacles, but somebody else doing that as well. So don't do that. Even if you can't focus on the goalpost yourself, don't drag somebody else off of the focus on the goalpost. Let them at least move forward. Don't try to sabotage everybody around you. Try to learn from the people who are doing okay rather than pulling everybody else down the bunny trail that you don't really want to go down anyway. Okay. Next up, let's look at Scorpio. Scorpio's Ten of Cups. And we have the Empress in reverse. Ba ba da 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 da. What's going on here, Scorpios? Empress in reverse for Scorpios is coming in a little bit differently than usual. She's coming in more as my codependent person. Funny, I didn't even think about her as being the codependent person until Scorpio came up. Is the Scorpio or somebody else? Scorpios, I think it's going to be really important today to make sure that we're not confusing happiness with being in control. Sometimes being in control can seem like it makes us feel happy because we're not worried about things going off track because of something somebody else is doing. At the same time, that picks up responsibilities for ourselves that are not actually healthy or good for us or good for the other person whose responsibilities they actually are to start with. So we want to be really careful to watch any kind of codependent patterns that we have today and make sure that we're not, you know, fully functioning in those, because that looks like that's going to be the temptation today, is to fully function in those codependent patterns. So we want to keep an eye on that and not make sure that we're not confusing being that codependent person for being happy, because it is not the same. Not the same. All right. And I can say that because I grew up very codependent. All right, Sagittarius. Page of Clubs showing up, right side up. Right side up. So Sagittarius, it looks like you've got a couple of things going on today. It looks like you've got somebody coming in and giving you some good news about something that you can do moving forward. And this is something that actually you're excited about. Like you want to move forward with it, so you're getting some good news, the okay, the go ahead, the green light to do that. But you've also got somebody showing up in your sphere of influence who is basically trying to point out to you all the reasons that that won't work. Don't pay attention to them. Keep your eye on the target, keep your eye on the goal, and continue to move forward. Don't let somebody throw you off track just because they're afraid that you might be more successful than them. That is not cool. Okay. Next up, let's look at, Capricorn. So Capricorn's Eight of Clubs showing up in reverse with Empress in reverse in the overall energy. Capricorn, I do think you've got somebody around you who likes to sort of be in control and be in charge. They may even do things that are a little bit manipulative so that they can, hold on to control of certain things. And I think that you're kind of tired of it. This is an old story for you. And I think with this Eight of Clubs coming up in reverse, you are just not even talking to that person today. Like you're just minimizing any kind of contact that you can have with them. If you're talking to them at all, it is only the bare bones, whatever is necessary, but nothing beyond that. All right, let's look at Aquarius. Three of Cups showing up in reverse. Aquarius, this is just telling me you've got somebody in your sphere of influence who is trying to act in a very codependent way, and it is totally, totally getting on your nerves today. Totally getting on your nerves. And I think that you're at a little bit of a loss about how to stop this, because it comes across to me that you've tried to talk to this person about this before, and yet here we still are. All right, let's look at Pisces. Excuse me. So Pisces, we have the World card. Okay. Pisces, I do think you've got somebody in your sphere of influence who is quite codependent and tries to kind of run your life for you because they feel like that's how things will work out better, is if they run your life. I think you're bringing that to an end today with that world card. I think you're saying, you know what? Nay, nay, not doing it. This could be walking away from a job where you have a boss that's like this, or this could be, getting out of an apartment with a colleague like this. If you have a family member or a friend like this could be you having a conversation with them and just saying, you know what, I'm not tolerating this anymore. Just not. You're going to have to figure out how to deal with your own fears and your own anxieties because I'm going to be making my own decisions. Or you could even be cutting off the relationship with this person in some cases. I just feel like for a lot of you where this is a friend or a family member, I feel like this is a conversation where you're saying, I've really been letting this slide for a long time, but I can't do that for the rest of my life. So this is where the buck stops. So for a lot of you, this is a conversation that is bringing that phase of this relationship to an end because you're just not going to tolerate it anymore. I do think you care about the person. I think you love the person. I think you kind of understand why they do what they do, but you just recognize that it's not healthy for either of you. Okay, so that's what I've got. Thank you guys very much for being here. Everybody have a fantastic day. Peace out.